99 problems, but a mortgage ain't one. You did good for 10 years, buddy. Rock on.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for that tremendous welcome. I can tell you that for Lorene, Van, Rachel, and me, after 11 weeks, it feels very good to be with you here at our home in our Calgary. And a special welcome to all of those who are here tonight from the great riding of Calgary Heritage. In a moment, friends, I'll have a little bit more to say about that, but first, I wish to address all Canadians. Lorene and I have embraced the public life because we believe that Canadians that are working hard should keep more money in their own pockets. Because we believe that hardworking Canadians should keep more of the money they earn. Because we believe that government should manage the people's money the way people manage their own. Because, friends, we believe that in a dangerous world, Canada must, without apology, advance our values, defend our interests, and stand by our friends. We have championed those values all of our public lives. In the last 9 years, I had the incredible honor to serve as your Prime Minister. For the past 9.5 years, it has been an unbelievable honor to serve as your Prime Minister. We gave everything we have to give, and we have no regrets whatsoever. Friends, how could we? We remain citizens of the best country on earth.
In the provincial legislature.
Well, Canada, you voted. And you voted, well, I'm not going to say you voted for change, as all the parties did. So the election is basically over, and as you can see here, it looks like the Liberals have won the most seats. And this was fairly well predicted over the last 2 weeks or so, according to the polls. The Conservatives, who have been in power for about 10 years, are still well over 100 seats, and they're going to be the official opposition. So, my views on this, I told you guys I don't want my channel to become all about politics. But as you know, I am a little center-right politically. I agree with most of the Conservative policies, but the Liberals have always sided with most of the Conservative policies most of the time, and they're not too left-wing. They are on some issues, but on other issues they're more right-wing. So they're definitely more centrist party. So I'm not too upset about it. What I am upset about is the low information voters that wanted to vote for any party because they didn't like one particular party. They didn't look at the facts, because now they're voting for a party and they don't know about that party's policies. Most of them, you ask most of these people who hated our Prime Minister why you're voting for Liberals or NDP or whatever it is, and most of them wouldn't have a clue what those platforms had on them. All they cared about was getting one guy out. I never vote for a party. I never vote for a leader of a party. I vote for the policies of the party. And you got to look at that stuff, if otherwise you are a low information voter. I'm sorry to say, but it's politics, right? So we're in the cycle again, and in the country it's usually Liberals for 1 or 2 terms, and then the Conservatives for a couple of terms, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth. When people want change, which they always do, and that's what they use on every election, they use that word. It's time for change. They use that phrase. It's kind of funny how people keep falling for it. But there's going to be some fights on our hands up here now. It looks like we're gonna have to, as for firearms owners, are gonna have to stay strong, because the Liberal government has said that they are willing to sign Canada onto the UN Small Arms Treaty, which I believe the USA has done under Obama, and it's not something that's good for private ownership, private property rights, gun rights, So that's something that might happen. We'll see. But again, the Liberals are, you know, they cave to pressure, and hopefully they're not going to go off the deep end about that. If the NDP got in, they're not even close. They only got 33 seats in Parliament so far. They're still counting votes right now. But the NDP are extremely left-wing. They're just crazy. They're crazy. They want a carbon tax on everything. So does the Liberals, unfortunately. But the NDP wants to do carbon tax. They want to give cities the power to ban guns. Cities, not federal. They want to let cities make that decision. Could you imagine that? And pretty much all their policies were very, very socialist. Just take my money and give it to people that don't want to work type of policies, if you get my drift. So I would have liked to see blue again, but we have had blue for a long time in Canada. So I'll concede to the red. I think that we can fight the fight with the red guys, with the Liberals. I think that we can get these hurdles passed. The Canada is not going to be flushed down the toilet. I think we are going to go into debt, though. Right now, Canada is doing very well economically, and we're in a surplus. But the Liberals, with Justin Trudeau, has said he is going to basically plunge the country into big deficits for massive spending for huge infrastructure projects and other social programs. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. There's some people that think he should do that, but I think most economists are saying that it's the wrong thing to do. So hopefully Justin wises up. Now again, election promises, it doesn't mean they're ever going to happen, right? So if he says he's going to spend all this money, doesn't mean it's all going to happen. So let's hope he's got some common sense. And again, it's not just one guy leading the party, right? I mean, he doesn't do everything. He's just the puppet at the top. And that's the way you got to look at politics. You got to look at the entire party and all the departments and all the policies and what's actually going to happen. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. A bunch of people were asking me if I was going to have electile dysfunction or if I was going to make a video ranting about it. I don't really get into huge rants about politics. Some people go way off the deep end. They take it way too seriously. But that's just the way I'm looking at it right now. The Liberals are going to be running Canada when we wake up tomorrow morning. They're not too far to the left. They're center, a little bit to the right, and on some policies a little bit to the left. So I think we can work with that. The Conservatives are a little more center right, and the NDP are way too over to the left. The Greens, come on, the Greens actually got one seat. They always get one seat over in the Gulf Islands. The Greens, they're off the deep end, falling off the cliff to the left, and that's why they've only got one seat. So this is what Canada says to left-wingers. You get one seat for the Greens, you get a measly 34 for the NDP. That might go up or down a little bit before the final votes are counted. But as you can see, Canada is not swinging to the left. These two are going to be in Parliament. Liberals, center right, maybe a little bit left, and the Conservatives, center right, are going to be the official opposition, which means there will be some balances in check. And yeah, I think the world's still going to spin, but there are some fights on our hands now, you know, for freedom-loving guys like me and people against carbon taxes and the whole climate scam. We're going to have to fight the Liberals on that. And firearms ownership, we're going to have to fight the Liberals on that. But as far as everything else goes, personally, if you want my personal opinion on Justin Trudeau, our new Prime Minister, he's a kid and he looks like a pushover. I'm not too worried about him. The big joke going around right now across the country is, could you imagine Justin Trudeau talking tough to President Putin in Russia? Like, it's just a funny thought to even think about it. So I don't know, man. He might not look like a statesman on the world stage, but again, it's not about the leader, in my opinion. It's about the party and their policies. And there you go. The Liberals, the numbers are changing. The Conservatives just went up a little bit more. The votes are still being counted. The ballots have all been casted, I believe, as of 7 o'clock. So. But it's pretty clear the Liberals are going to run Canada for the next 4 years, and that's all there is to it. So, keep on rocking in the free world, everyone.
Keep on rocking in the free world.
Pick up your Keep on Rockin' in the Free World sticker now, or choose from some of the others over on my site at justincredible.net.
Keep on